Welcome back to Persona Q2 New Cinema Labyrinth. As you can see, we completely finished the first Theatre District block last time, and we'll be heading back in now, but firstly, let's switch things up with the party. This party served me very well in the last part, so, hopefully it can't all go downhill from here. You know, I was all set to just go in and get Futaba one level up in the labyrinth itself, and then I realized I have a whole bunch of junk personas that I can sacrifice into Necronomicon, which, very appropriate persona to be sacrificing things to, by the way, to level her up. Because, like, I can make a way better Katakeya on my own. And I will want to, because Katakeya is involved in making Longinus. Oh, that's funny, you actually are allowed to pass regular persona skills onto Navigators, even though it does nothing. Oh, but if I make Neburos, I can also get Alice later. And Atropos will get me Norn later. Okay, Junk and Ganesha. And now that I know I only need to pass down Bind Arts Plus, I can save more space for Scarecrow and Salome's Kiss. So yeah, you will replace Ganesha as my Super Bind persona for now. Okay, you already start with Salome's Kiss. Bind Arts Plus. It's very tempting to have Bind Arts Plus and Ailment Arts Plus in the same persona, but there's not much space for other skills. I think it is best to just keep my binds onto one thing. I want to keep passing down Scarecrow because, I guess I'll just say every FOE in this dungeon, Agility Bind's like the one decent thing that works on it, and that includes the super special FOE in the last floor of this place, and if you played Persona, you probably know who that is. Obviously need to buy Belial back, though. Okay, there is a way I can get you out of Lachesis, but it does require me to give you up, who I'd probably want to fuse into a Link Persona at some point, but I guess I can buy you back. And yeah, that's about what I want on a Navigator Persona. Labyrinth Navigator, I mean, not Battle Navigator. Still no fusion accident. Wow, Ara Mitama's really high level in this game. I'm used to it being the lowest level Mitama. I do like it when Persona games shake up the levels, though. Okay, I don't quite have enough space to pass down Wind Boost with this, but it will give me a solid foundation for a, full card build. And you know what? Before I get rid of Hathor forever, I suppose of all things, the one I least want is Triple Down? Or maybe Regenerate 2. Like, Regenerate 2 is fine, but, having Psy Boost and Psy Amp on Haru is pretty cool. You're more of a standard physical attacker than you are a Link user. But I can probably still pass down Bestial Roar and Shura Tensei. I'm curious what the compendium says about Longinus, okay. Yeah, I know that the Lance of Longinus was an important plot point in Persona 2. Like, that last paragraph definitely sounds like it's Persona 2 reference. Okay, I'll make this Katakeya the Femc linker. Oh hey, your blank card stock could go above 100, that's interesting. But yeah, I'm doing this, this isn't really all that much better than Yatsufusa, but the majority of things I could make, like, more of a non-Femc Link build were, way above my level right now, so this is kind of the best I can do. I can give Morgana Null Agility Bind off of, Sacrifice. And now, I am so sorry for this horrible tragedy, I am finally getting rid of Dia. I'll take that double level up on you. Because it will give me a better elect physical attack. Oh yeah, natural access to Heaven's Blade is nice, though level 56 is a long way off. Okay everyone, fusion break's over, back to... that's very tempting, but I'm gonna... Once we get more special screenings and then unlock her special one, then I'll be bringing her back for very, very important reasons. For the sake of convenience, you always want to go down the stairs whenever you discover them, just so that you can quickly warp back there, but, you know, for the sake of videos, I thought it would be awkward if I started the second block of the Theatre District in the last part, especially since, yeah, there's a cutscene here. Yeah, so speaking of Hikari, one thing that I have seen, like, looking at opinions on Persona Q1 online, and I do agree with this, is that maybe one of the reasons why Rei makes more of an impact on some people as spin-off characters, compared to, Hikari, is that Hikari stays in the lobby whenever you go into a labyrinth, whereas Rei accompanied you into the dungeon, so she could be right there commenting on everything that happened. There was a reason why Hikari wasn't able to go into the films, and I kind of like the fact that things get reversed, because like as I was saying last time, Hikari's a far more active presence in the labyrinths later in the story, whereas Rei was way more active at the start of the story and became less present later. So yeah, they really are kind of inversions of each other in a lot of ways. And it fits Hikari's development a lot, the fact that it's only now that she's able to come out of her shell and feel comfortable just being who she is, the movie-loving, quirky girl, who is probably autistic. And yeah, so now she's actually able to be with you in the labyrinths. Well, yeah, again, Nagi's Japanese voice actress is very typecast as that kind of role, like, sort of antagonistic motherly figures. In addition to Rhea from Three Houses, I've heard that she's also the boss from Metal Gear Solid 3, who also fits into that archetype. Yeah, sorry, he's not really into that kind of thing. Well, I mean, unless you romance Mitsuru. Mitsuru's probably the closest thing that he's got, like, yeah. The Have Pity Ordinance. Wasn't that an actual thing from Persona 3, or at least Q1? Yeah, I feel like it's something. Oh yeah, you know, it's definitely a Persona 3 thing in that case. Yeah, the other U is almost identical. Because, yeah, he can't even romance Femsi. I do still really love the totally platonic bond they have. Yeah, I've said it many times, I've really grown to appreciate platonic male-female relationships in media. The hierarchy of the seas. Yes, there's, protagonist, there's Mitsuru, Akihiko, and the senpai. Shinjiro's kind of outside of it because he doesn't really care. Ken's a kid, but he probably puts himself about the middle. I'd say Yukari's probably about the middle too. Fuga's a little lower down because her voice acting has multiple weaknesses. And then there's Junpei. But Junpei is number one in our hearts. Yeah, one of the things that people have noticed about Nagi, and it does make her interesting compared to a lot of other Persona God villains, Nagi genuinely thinks that she's helping. And she really has no reason to fight us unless we're a direct threat to her. She's totally okay with us leaving because, you know, if we leave, it's just a drop in the ocean. She already has thousands, potentially millions of people in theaters. It really doesn't affect her if, like, you know, 27 or so people leave. But yeah, she generally believes that what she's doing is helping people, so in a way she's more in need of convincing than a fight. But yeah, this whole salvation system absolutely needs to go. She does remind me a bit of the antagonist of Persona 5 Royal's third semester. I know I like to play coy with who that is, but it is genuinely a, something that I don't like to spoil for people, because it is one of the best parts of that story, I feel. Investigation Team, Phantom Thieves, and the Specialized Extracurricular Execution Squad is on the case too. Yeah, Nagi's like... Nagi kinda pissed off the wrong groups of people. Yeah, I mean, Hikari, I feel like it's a little early to be giving that speech here. That feels like a pre-final boss speech. Nagi's probably the one who should be hearing that. Because we've still got 2 whole floors to go, and this one is pretty big. Oh, hey! Of course, Junpei says the same thing that I said earlier. I love you, Junpei. Junpei is still one of my favorite RPG characters of all time. Junpei is just perfection. Oh, yes! Yes, you best start believing in crossover movies, Hikari. You're in one! Well, you know, a crossover... Well, I mean, Bug's Life had grasshoppers in it, and that was a really good movie. Of course, the grasshoppers were the villains there, so Junpei probably doesn't want to be compared. Except for that one guy who does kind of turn over a new leaf towards the end. Well, I feel like of all the people here, Yukiko's probably the one who would keep that up. I feel like she would call somebody a grasshopper, and for her that'd be a compliment. Because the inner machinations of Yukiko's mind are an enigma. Yeah, she is interesting in a lot of ways, in the sense that, like, she seems like that standard Yamato Narashiko archetype, and then it turns out, actually, she's pretty eccentric in a lot of ways. And that's a great thing about Persona 4, the characters kind of defy their stereotypes. So this right here, there's Sukari, and then that thing there. So that kanji right there, that sent me down a rabbit hole of research, because that is pronounced za. Now, the reason why I did go down a rabbit hole of research is that I was looking it up, and I wanted to figure out why that kanji was the signifier for theaters, but also for constellations. Because I saw that Cancer indicator as well, like that Cancer theater sign at the start of this dungeon, and I was like, is there some kind of connection between constellations and theaters in Eastern culture? Aha! We have some wind blowing here, but there is a gate in the way that is stopping the wind from getting to where we'd like it to be. Windbreaker. Isn't there like a piece of equipment called Windbreaker that gives you resist wind? I think that is in one of the Persona games. I had like an actual wind repellent jacket that I used to call my Repel Winds jacket. I am a Persona / SMT nerd. And once again, we have an icon. The windshield icon. And I think this may actually be the last icon that Yusuke makes for us. Like I said, in the last part, we couldn't really do much with the wind turbines before, but now we can do a little more. As I was saying, though, so, this Za tangent is gonna take me quite some time, but I hope you'll all strap yourselves in for it. Okay, yeah, this is just gonna lead, to a treasure spot, but always good to mark things out on the map. And I had a feeling that I would be having to pause my tangent because of new enemies, and now we have 3 of them. So, the Rebellious Cyclops is weak to ice, the Idle Basalt is weak to Psy, and the Valuing Nyogo is weak to electricity. I'm pretty sure I have all 3 of those elements with me. Now, I'm not sure what to expect, so I'm gonna say I want to yeah, I'll be confusing 2 things this way. I'll go for the front row. I had a feeling that they'd be going first, though, because the enemies in here are pretty high level. Oh, great, no cut-in, that's bad. Yeah, probably should have used magic for that. But like I was saying, so Za, that kanji, it literally means a seat, or that which is sat on. And the way in which it became a signifier for theaters is, like, a fascinating, sequence of, like, meaning shifts over the years. But the thing that was, like the most interesting part to me was that theater is not a meaning that that word has in Chinese, where kanji originated. It was only in Japanese. Because the kanji started out to mean just seats, but they added the cliff radical to it, so that it would become like a place where people sit. And then that eventually became just a gathering. And that's where the constellation meaning came from. As in a gathering of stars. And then that, by extension, through a complicated series of different meaning shifts that are apparently like, there's apparently a lot of debate over exactly how it happened, but involving certain kinds of marketplaces, that also came to mean a trade guild. And then, due to, of all things, Oda Nobunaga, that meaning also came to signify an acting troupe. It's due to a free market, free theater system that Oda Nobunaga instated that kind of caused the meaning of that kanji when it was previously applied to trade guilds to also apply to theater troops. Very much appreciate you exploiting yourself there, because that is less things to potentially kill Yusuke right after he gets revived. And yeah, now it is the thing that gets added on to the end of theaters, to, you know, mean both a standard theater and a movie cinema. Ah, that regenerate was not quite enough to save him. Okay, so I hope that then Morgana's going to be able to heal before these things start. Okay, good, we got the Elect Strike link in off of Yusuke. Thank you for the heal there, and then hopefully Akechi can Sai the Basalt before it kills something. And then we can finally get the all-out attack in. I think my mistake here was going for the physical attack with Yusuke at the start. I probably should have just gone for Bufala, because that's way more reliable. I thought that would kill it. Oh well, no boost keep for me. But 3 level ups for me. And none of those level ups were actually, any skills, but oh well. Okay, you know what? I'm actually going to be swapping Morgana and Akechi's accessory. Oh, right, you had that. I thought you had the double attack thing. In any case, I do want the chakra ring on Morgana, I think, because cheaper healing would be nice. Which means Akechi gets to be able to survive dying with 1 HP. Joker is very disappointed. A 3D storyboard, that's cool. In a way, though, that's a little disturbing, because it implies that Nagi is, like, storyboarding people's lives. Which is, yeah, pretty much literally what she's doing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that history lesson on that kanji and how it came to mean theater, because, like, yeah, that was just kind of fascinating to me. Uh-oh, it's the world balance. This was like one of the latest, I think it was the second last Tartarus boss in the original Persona 3. And it is weak to Nuke and Curse here. We also have a Bane, Ego Bane Beast. Okay, that's funny. Don't let Seto Kaiba near this thing. Oh yeah, okay, so it will punish you for Sai, Nuke, Bless, or Curse. But it is weak to Fire. And that's problematic because my only Sai attack is AoE. I don't think I have Nuke or Curse in this party either, so yeah, this might have been a worse combination than my previous team. And that's not exactly what you want when the enemies here are this rough. I'm still not going to abandon using everyone, though, this close to the end. Oh boy, they can petrify you. Oh, that was not good. Well, at least that one's down. And now, weird Morgana in the front row strats commence, because I have a guaranteed knockdown on you with Miracle Punch. Huh, Yusuke's boost kept the whole time that he was stoned. Okay, I got through it in the end, but yeah, that battle went places. I probably need a better party than this. Okay, I didn't have Haridi before, so at least that's more for the compendium. Yeah, never ever skip that. Okay then. That. Sad thing is, okay, that is the strongest ice physical he ever learns, but it isn't really serving me that well because it just misses all the time. If I want to hit Ice Weaknesses with him, I'll probably just give him Ice Link, or even, or I'll just use Bufala, so I sort of feel like maybe I'll get rid of Glacial Edge for that. I feel like Temper Slash is something that he learns weirdly late in the original Persona 5 as well, even though it's not a particularly strong skill. Okay, but when you go in here, there is a reason why there was a shortcut. Because this is the part of the floor that we need to deactivate the windshield. Yeah, let's step on and find out. It's totally not going to be a pitfall that drops us into the Abyss of Doom and then game over, Nagi wins. Once again, the inner workings of Yukiko's mind are an enigma, and she instantly realizes this is connected to the windshield, even though there's no logical reason why it would be. Oh, that's also Ryuji and a lot of the Phantom Thieves. Of course, like, the fact that Fuka said that it's a switch immediately gives away that it's safe to step on, but yeah, as you can see there, the icon has changed. The wind is now flowing through that area. The air feels somehow different. For once, the air is not electrifying, it is Garuifying. Which is kind of the opposite of electrifying, since most people who are weak to one are resistant to the other, and vice versa. So yeah, conveniently placed shortcut so we can immediately check that out. But first, here is another shortcut that will be conveniently placed later, but for now it isn't because we can't get through. Oh yeah, and this is just a big loop. However, there is actually a decent amount to do over here. Because if we go all the way down here, there is in fact nothing. But if we go the other way, there is also in fact nothing, but there is also something. And by that I mean there's events. Oh, 2 world balances. Another fight that I did win, but it was not for lack of the enemies trying, and I think we went through this already. Yeah, I registered him before he learned Archidine. Granted, actually, that's a high-tier magic skill that could be good at this point. So, interestingly, there is a windshield there. But up here, we have a chest and also an event. That's what I meant by not quite nothing. Don't kill it, please. Oh, yeah, if that hadn't killed it, would have been an all-out finisher. In a way, I actually kind of regret teaching Miracle Punch over Lucky Punch, because Lucky Punch's lower damage is kind of an advantage a lot of the time, because you don't really want, like, it for the damage. You want it for its, easy knockdowns. And when you're knocking things down, you don't want them to outright die, because, it means setting up the odd attack finisher is easier. But yeah, we do have an event tile here. Yeah, some of these seem like they're just people's names within that Japanese Tsar character attached at the end. It's almost like how, like, say you'd call a theater like the Rose or the Orpheum. It could be like the Hikari. So this is like, I guess, some kind of like, I don't think it's quite mementos, but it's like its own little subsection of the collective unconscious. Because Mementos was very specifically a Tokyo thing. That's the difference between it and a lot of other mass cognitive worlds. Which kind of makes sense given that Persona 5's themes are a lot more related to Japanese society than they are universal like Persona 3 or 4. At the same time, though, many of the themes of P5 are very relatable to a lot of people. Like, you know, in a way, corrupt authority is pretty much the same wherever you go. Ah, yes. Well, as I said all the way back at the start of this playthrough, if you know, you know. There's a lot of things about Morgana that are very interesting once you know what he actually is, but this game can't spoil it. Oh, both Persona Q games have a quest involving a butterfly in their final dungeon. Pretty sure that's intentional. And yeah, right now we've done everything we can without being blown by that wind, so now's probably a good time to head back and, regroup and probably change my party because this one isn't working out for me. Okay, quite a lot of new stuff here, including a better thing for Aigis. Okay, so we kind of got a choice here. We can go for more magic or more strength on Koromaru, and I've been heading towards strength with him. Would you like to sell the soft mane? That makes me think that I'm cutting off part of Koromaru's hair and selling it. That's terrible. More HP or bind resistance? I think on Aigis I'm going to go for more HP. New Year Kimono nullifies instant kill. Oh yeah, that was for the Dancer Garb recipe. I never actually showed that one off. I just accidentally used the team that we have to use for that special screening that I'm putting off. It looks like we have to repress this button, though. And yes, now the characters will inform us that the wind is blowing that way. So we'll be able to progress to that other half of the floor. I think I'll just cover that, and then we'll end things. Fuka's clearly not a fan of Final Fantasy VIII. Ah, that's not good. That's really not good. Already, I think I actually have to leave, because I don't have enough revival items to get everyone back. Of course, Yukio is the one person here who finds this fun. So yeah, there's another windshield there. Alright, that's what the term windshield keeps reminding me of. It's a car thing, isn't it? But yes, let's move on. Now, because these areas are quite long and thin, it's easy to lose track of where you are. We're actually heading towards the very bottom of the map right now. Oh, the Aetherbane Snake is back. Okay, so weak to nuke, and I can't use any AoE, fire, ice, elect, or wind skills here. But I don't think I'll need to. Oh right, that's Aeger on! That's why it's hitting so hard. Yeah, I explained back in the third labyrinth that the higher tier spells do have pretty high damage in this game. And that should at least deal with the snake. Oh, and the balance. And the cycle up, not quite. Well, now it is, but, a little late for Chie. Okay, Makoto getting petrified isn't the worst thing here, because I really want Chie to get the experience out of this. She's lower level than Makoto, I think. So this should finish it. Unfortunately, Makoto is going to have to stay petrified. And that leads to one kind of annoying thing. You can't actually use Amrita sodas outside of battle. I'm really not sure why, but that's just how it works. And, oh, hi. I guess one of Alice's uncles just wants to join the party with her. And yet it was only Yukio who leveled up here. I'll definitely take that, given that, you know, I swapped out Mitsuru for her because I need healers, as you can probably tell. But yeah, can't use Amrita sodas outside of battle. What's interesting is that you do keep your boost while you're petrified. I assume it still goes away if something hits you. But yeah, as we make our way through here, taking one more step will blow us into the east side of the map, which I will be dealing with later, because, I want to take care of that side, the western side first, but before that, I want to show a preview of the lower part here. Yeah, as you can see, we are all the way down the bottom of the map, and in fact, over that chasm is the end of the floor. And there's a windshield there, so our goal is to open up that windshield so that we can just blow ourselves to the third floor, and that sounds kind of bad, but you get the idea. Yes, only, I believe my wild level is 56 right now, so only 4 more levels until I will be able to make Mara happy with the statements, with those accidental innuendo statements. Okay, now this is not a good fight to have Makoto petrified for. And Yukiko is only able to remove binds, not ailments, so I'm gonna have to rely on the dog to cure her. There goes the, Scythial pot. I think that's the first time one of those has actually worked. Or at least the enemies had the element that, I would need for one of those. So, everybody is boosted except for Koromaru, and he's the one person whose turn I am very invested in right now. Because I'm really tempted to try this. I'm gonna go for it. Instant death, like I've said, has been heavily nerfed. In fact, that's actually a topic that I could talk about, although there's kind of less time for tangents here because the enemies are very intense and so is the kind of dungeon layout and I need to focus. We'll have an FOE puzzle coming up, but I do want to mention that, oh wait, that was a miss. I was like, wait, are you not weak to nuke? But no, it was a miss. that one aspect where a lot of people feel like in the whole debate between Q1 versus Q2, one of the problems a lot of people have with Q1 is that not only is the party Right, don't let them mind charge. Good to know. Oh, there's a different game over screen for game overing in the last dungeon. That's cool, okay. And it sort of encouraged you to continue. That's pretty awesome. That's kind of different to most normal Persona game over screens. Okay, that's really good. If Yukiko can actually get her fire in, good. Okay, the line's gone. And now I can safely use Sai. Okay, this actually works out, since I have, on longiness of all things. Well, I'll still take that. I am a little concerned about Chie right now, though. There we go, okay, good. We got this. I do feel like the enemies here are a little too tough for us. I am gonna probably take a break and do some special screenings and grind after this. But we'll be about 50% of the way through this floor after that. And, oh, hi, yeah. Hi there, Oyamatsumi, again. I like how overdramatic Yukiko's gasp there is. Something came out. I guess you have to buy, like, dedicated stone cure items in order to be able to cure it outside of battle. That is still really weird. But yeah, over here, we've got wind blowing this way, and now we've linked up to that spot. Also can see a shortcut there due to Farsight that I won't be able to reach for a little while, but... I'm not sure I like getting into another fight with Akihiko Petrified. Okay, idea. Spotlight Koromaru. Okay, question. Will Die For Me actually do something, or will we prove once and for all that instant death was nerfed to oblivion in Q2? Okay, it did kill the things that were weak to it, not bad. And given that those things, well, yeah, charged Megadola Dust to death last time, I will certainly take them being Die For Me'd. So not only was the party balance particularly, like, bad in Q1, but also instant death was insanely broken, and a lot of people felt like that ruined the strategy of fights because you could just spam instant death and just win. At the time, I found it refreshing because instant death was fairly underpowered in the mainline games around then. But I do think heavily nerfing instant death was ultimately the right call for Q2. Because even though Link strategies, I feel, are, like, kind of really strong in this game, it's real, like, you kind of have to pick your battles. Links are a lot less useful against hordes of enemies. They're a lot better against single boss fights, and even then, not every boss is really set up to encourage the use of Links significantly, so yeah, I will say the amount of tactics you can use in fights is a lot more varied than the first Q game. But in general, they drastically improved the battle system in Q2. One of the many things that was a problem for people playing Persona Q1 is that the way that all-out attacks worked. In that it wasn't based on knocking down enemies, it was based on how many characters were boosted during a turn, and it was entirely random. And any, like, significant mechanic to the Persona franchise, especially, like, a series this, like, tactical, like that is a thing. Like, some people might be like, oh, Persona isn't, as, hardcore as Shin Megami Tensei, but still, by the standards of normal RPGs, it is a very tactical series, and your choices in battle really do matter a lot. So, for a series like that, having a major mechanic that does heavy damage to all enemies locked behind randomness is really bizarre, so I'm glad they changed that. But in general, I do think, as annoying as some of the fights can be, the boss design is a lot better in Q2 as well. So like I said, this dungeon having a boss rush later plays to Q2's strengths. Now, there is an FOE right there. Don't step in front of it. I've done that in a failed take of this that I'm not going to use. And that was something. But yeah, the reason why this exists is so you can easily get away from this FOE. So this whole area is about leading this FOE around to break the debris. So that's the debris you have to break, but there's one more optional breakable debris to go for. Yep, there's the guy getting distracted. Must destroy rubble. This rubble deeply offends me, it must die. He really doesn't like rubble. You know what, maybe that... Okay, new headcanon. Those things are the cinema's janitors. And they're just that intense about cleaning up mess. Come on, Atlus, pull through for me twice. Oh yeah, you don't see the cut-in because the cut-in's tied to enemies being knocked down in this game. As somebody in the comments kindly pointed out to me. I will say, like I appreciate, thank you so much so far to everyone in the comments. You got, like, there have been a few people here who are very familiar with this game and have pointed out things that I didn't know about it. So yeah, seriously, thank you. And that is also another thing that comments were talking about in the last part, about, like, you know, reasons why some people might think that Q2 is a lot better than or at least why it might be more popular with, like, the more hardcore Persona fans. And that's probably because, like, most people don't come to Persona for Shin Megami... most people don't come to Persona for Etrian Odyssey-style dungeon design. I'm kind of a weird outlier because I've never even played Etrian Odyssey, and I really liked Q1's dungeons. So I'm not really sure what that says about me. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and walk on all those tiles. And take another loop around the area because going south is going to lead us just to a dead end with a chest. You know, we really do have to stop meeting like this, just saying. Well, fortunately, Chie has her master to back her up there. I was about to say senpai, but no, canonically Chie calls him master. Unfortunately, her master is now a statue. Well, if I've got a boosted die for me, I may as well use it. It's completely free, and it might kill something. Okay, we got the tree. But will we be able to get you with the all-out attack? I want to say no, but I am very open to be proven wrong right now. I was proven right. And we end on Sasuga Queen. Oh, and Sasuga Queen, she levels up. Lady Pipe, okay then. But yeah, through here, we have a bit of a loop, and the likely reason for that is that the FOE is still chasing us. Yep, there he is. Let's just open this door to reset his aggro. Okay, that's not quite a literal I think, like, in Japanese, she just said, phew, it gave up. But, like, that's really funny. And all that was for a reset. Yeah, okay, again, that's just reinforcing my headcanon. They're the theater's janitors. Oh. I'm gonna get Holy Wrath for using, die for me here. The theater janitors got wise to me. But now that the beast is gone, the Alice shall be unleashed. You know what? This is actually kind of fitting. We started the first game with an Alice in Wonderland illusion, and now we're ending this game with Alice the Persona. If Akihiko wasn't stoned, that probably would have won me the fight, but well, at least he gets the experience out of it now. Unless you somehow null Sai. Okay, there we go. And we get... Oh, yeah, I got Neberos because, like, last time I... Tentarafu. I don't think I need Dekunda at the moment. Oh, Guillotine Blade, I believe, is the strongest Guillotine-style skill, so yeah, again, that's another viable tactic in this game. Ailments plus Guillotine. I do think Confusion is very overpowered, but, like, I am not opposed to it being this strong. Okay, let's open this up, but I still have a couple of tiles in there that I didn't step on because I happened to be chased by an angry janitor at the time. So yeah, let's finish up that loop, or close up that loop, and now I am glad I remembered to heal before the fight counter ticked down to 1. So the shortcut here, you might be wondering why this is important, but it is very important. I need die for me to go really well, please? Okay, got 2 of them, not bad. Yeah, it doesn't actually trigger an all-out attack, though, because you have to knock something down to do that. My only issue with how much they nerfed instant death was, like, they really didn't have to nerf Naoto as much as they did. Like, I feel like Naoto is a bit underpowered by this game's standards, and it kind of sucks, because I like Naoto being good. You know what, I'm gonna have you use a boosted revive. Although I don't think that will do it. Let's see. It's only a 3-person all-out attack. Well, 2 people and a dog, but still. Yeah, definitely not good enough. But at least we get 1 revival in. And we don't get 1 revival in. Well, we do get 1 revival in. Once again, 1,000,001 uses for Spotlight. In this case, spotlighting somebody to make sure that I get the revive in before the fight ends. Well, this is assuming that Chia doesn't miss with the Wind Strike Link, which she easily could. And if she does, we may be in trouble. At least they're not... Okay, she didn't miss, that's fine. At least they are the Mega Dollar enemies. So, like, yeah, like, normally whenever the world balance shows up as a normal enemy in a Persona game, it's a lot weaker than it was as a mini-boss in Persona 3. This is one of the few games where it's very much not. The world balances here are terrifying. And, yeah, we got Black Spot and Akihiko, which is kind of like the sequel to Triple Down, I suppose. I can use that terminology given that we're in the movie world. Okay, so, like I was saying, it's very important that we open up this shortcut because now we can press the button to switch the windshields and still access these lower parts of the map. So, hang on, can we actually just go straight to the end now? Oh, hi guy. You know what? Let's leave you on a cliffhanger. We'll find out next time, because I don't want to risk getting killed by 1 more encounter before I save after getting that, shortcut. So, I have unlocked a bunch of special screenings. I think I need to strengthen myself a little bit. I'm going to be taking a break from this dungeon to do some special screenings next time, but I'm not going to be going and doing all of them at once because I kind of want to alternate just so we make progress here, then we go back and do some special screenings and, you know, etc. Look forward to the last batch of special screenings and the rest of this dungeon next time.